Hello everyone, Gabe here again. I know it's been a little while since I've done one of these videos. Been taking care of some things at work, but kind of wanted to get with you guys one more time before the big holidays hit, to kind of leave you guys with a little bit of insight on perhaps more personality for those of you who have not really come across and understand me and who I really am, right? So many different people will tell you different things about me, and one of the things that some people could tell you is that Gabe is a very nice, kind person. Other people could tell you Gabe is very stubborn, strong-willed. Other people could tell you Gabe could be a little shy. So it really depends on the perspective or the situation that people have encountered with me that will tell you how I am. And for the most part, I'm pretty much all of those that I mentioned, right? I am shy at times. I am very calm and peaceful. I'm very companion. I provide friendship and companionship. I I'm very um, caring, but for the most part, I have a very strong character. Uh, Especially with certain things, especially if I'm in a position of authority. If I'm given a position of authority, I have a title. I'm the head of the household. Depends on who, really all that. But for the most part, at work, I am the training flight chief. I am a master sergeant with almost 20 years in the service. I'm a training flight chief for my unit. And with that title position, it comes with certain authority. And my character, my strong will, my way of thinking is that it allows me to execute that from a very authoritative kind of way. I enjoy having control. I enjoy having power. It's one of the greatest things that I think that if people put me in a position where I have authority over people, I have control over people, I have things of that nature, I am the type of person that could move a team or a program forward, simply because of my personality. I'm very masculine when it comes to a lot of many different things. And so, even though you might not see me as physically, my facial features or my physique might not be very like heavy muscles, I'm a very masculine person. And what that means is that for work, I'm not gonna lie. Um, if you don't know this, if you haven't seen me at work, I really don't. I take shit from no one, and it comes with that. Um, I've learned to understand that at certain positions, you can't get rely on your kindness to get things done. Sometimes you really just gotta, for lack of better words, really chew someone's behind, and because they're not doing what they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. They don't want to do what you want them to do or request or ask them to do. And there are times when that thing is happening, and you just gotta put the hammer down. We live in a world and society that a lot of people think that we're supposed to be kind and empathetic to many people, and to a degree, I understand and kind of agree to that. However, one of the things that I know is the people that live in this world, they take advantage of that. They take advantage of those who are kind, supportive. They're very sympathetic and empathetic. They take advantage of those people because it's just human nature the way that it is, right? So um, if you don't have if you're assigned a position of authority over a certain group of people, regardless of their age, you really have to put in the work as a leader to make sure that your people are not taking advantage of you. Okay. So when it comes to me, I have zero patience to negotiate anything with people at work, especially if I'm making the decision or the decision comes down to me. I'm not interested or inclined to hear the reasoning. There are times where, yes, I do sit down and request people's opinions or insight on certain things. But at the end of the day, the decision belongs to me, and I make the decision. Some people like it. A lot of other people may not like the decision that I went with. But at the end of the day, it's my decision to make. So if you're put in a position that whether you're at work, in an office, school environment, home, if you're put in a position that you are the authority figure, you are the head of whatever, you gotta just do whatever it takes to make sure that people understand who's running the show, right? Um, I cannot stand when people don't have a backbone. It drives me insane. You gotta have a backbone. You gotta have an ability to say no when it comes to certain things. If you are the manager, the leader, the boss, and some things are not, how you want them, and people like they try to pursue you to say yes, and you might be inclined to say yes because you want your people to like you, that's where you lose. You're gonna lose the battle. So if you are gonna be that person that's gonna be in charge, you need to take charge. You need to express that and say, okay, I appreciate you guys' input, opinions, views, and this is my decision. And if you hear people start talking about or complaining and nagging, me to squash it and say, I'm sorry, I'm not interested in hearing the complaints and the one. That the decision is this, and we go forward. And leave it at that. Right? So when you have and that is applicable to in school settings, right? If you are going to be in a teacher in school, regardless of the school level of school, you are the teacher. You are the authority figure in that classroom. If you have students that are acting a fool, then you make sure that those students understand that class ain't the class for them to be acting a fool, and you got to let them know that. Now, that doesn't mean you got to go ahead and scream and curse and then punch kids or anybody else. I'm not talking about any of that stuff. But your students got to know who is running this show. You're going to have a lot of students try to, be jokesters, and they think they're going to do, they're going to say things and kind of, play the class clown. You got to squash that. And it's from the moment, the first time it happens, you squash it. And sometimes if you got to embarrass people or embarrass students in front of others, then so be it. Because those people don't care about certain things. And why do you have to, minimize certain things because you have a student that's acting a fool? And if that's somehow that gets you're gonna go talk to the principal or to somebody that's the superintendent of the school. Then you show up to the office and stand up for what you did or said. And have the backbone to say, no, if I'm going to be a teacher in this school, this is how I'm going to act. This is how it's going to be. Otherwise, just find yourself another job. Because the moment you start allowing people to kind of disrespect you, then you lost the battle as at the head of that particular environment. So, and then that also goes with, your home. If you are the parent, you are the parent. If you're the mom, the dad, the step parent, whatever the case might be, you are that person that makes the rules. If kiddos don't like it, too bad, so sad, go pound sand. We're not interested in hearing it. And it's just the way that it's supposed to go. But we live in a society today that a lot of people want to, have everybody like you, and it doesn't work like that, to include your children. No, your children are not supposed to like you. Then you're supposed to do a job where you're like, hey, this is the job of a parent, this is the job of a mom or dad, and you execute the job to your best of your abilities. Your kids, they're going to be there all the time. They're going to be there for you until you're pretty much gone. And it's just the way that it is. But as they're younger, when they're younger, you run the show. You say, they do. They start complaining and whining. I don't want to hear. You just be like, I'm not interested. Go do it. And that's just the way that it goes. Unfortunately, we also have the same thing, the same line of thinking with, people at work, people in your community, people in your society. And it's one of those things to where it's like, I saw this thing on Facebook the other day. It said, people don't want to be treated like children. Well, it's simple. Don't act like a child. If you're being asked to do something and it's against what you want to do, but you have a person that's over you, the best thing that you could do is just have a positive attitude and just go get it done and say, I got it done, boss, here you go. And believe me, when you have a positive attitude during times of those things, the outcome is beneficial to you. You have a much better outcome for yourself, right? And so this video was really about that. It's because, I've seen a lot of people at work, I've seen a lot of people in school, at home, and things like that, you gotta have the strength. You gotta have the strength to make sure that if you're gonna be put in a position of leadership, management, oversight of certain people, you cannot be a people pleaser. You cannot be a yes sir or yes ma'am all the time. And you cannot think that you're supposed to do all the greatness things for your employees or the people that are under you, because it's not a popularity contest. You are there, you're put in there for a reason, you're there as a person in charge. Then take charge. Stand up straight, take charge, and have a spine. We live in a world where we're so soft with so many things. We are emotionally reactive to many low-level things. And you can't tell people anything anymore because they take it personal. No. We got to stop that. We got to stop being so soft in society, because at the end of the day, when we are soft with our children, with our boys, with girls, with young adults and adolescents and juveniles, and they grow up to be older and they get to the point where they're moving out of your home and they go into the world, the world is not soft. The world is not all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean, it's a nasty place. People are out to get you a lot of the times, or trying to take advantage of you. And if you don't have the personality or the backbone to make sure that people are not taking advantage of you, then you got to just grow one. And it's just the way that it is. So I won't go too much more into it because we're about to 15 minutes in, but that is what this video is about. The video is about is, if you're the type of person that needs to have a strong personality, because you're put in a position of authority regardless of the environment, then acquire that personality and get it done. Okay? I'll promise you, once you do that and you nip things in the bud and you squash things from the beginning, people will look at you differently. They will have a greater respect for you. And with that in mind, I'll see you guys later. Love you guys.